Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, guys, I just woke up and I'm feeling bossy. I'm feeling in charge and I'm feeling confident. How about you? How are you doing? I want to talk to you about workplace violence. I want to talk to you about being assertive. I want to talk to you about being an advocate for you, because if you don't, no one will. If you pay attention to my content carefully, I know if you don't know me or you don't understand me, you have a lot of misconceptions, which really don't bother me. But I am a person that is very confident in my skin, and I am a person that has zero tolerance for injustice, systemic injustice, systemic inadequacies. And why do I have this disgust towards things like that? Because these are the reasons why people suffer. These are the reasons why we have kids failing in life. These are the reasons why we have people being subjected to unhealthy situations. I am a person that have all these personalities, yet if you meet me in an environment, you would think I don't have these qualities, because I tend to be quiet. I tend to be to walk away from drama. I tend to stay away from unhealthy encounters. If you work with me, I am goal-oriented, I am outcome-focused, and I don't like drama. I don't like complaining, not because I don't have to complain, but because the time I will spend complaining, especially when it comes to my kind of profession, I'll use 10% of that time to solve the said problem. So I tend to rather do than stop and about it, right? I don't like micromanagement, and I don't like micromanagers. If you're a micromanager, you will not get the best of me or the best of my services. But if you let me roll in my element, you get 10,010%. You will not get 100%, you get 10,010%. I always feel fulfilled when I can move a patient from this mindset to that mindset. I can literally lift anybody who is willing to make a change, to improve from here to here. The only people I cannot stand is people with personality disorders, because no matter what you do, it's difficult to manage them and get a desired outcome. So why am I sharing these things to you? I'm sharing these things to you because you need to go back to yourself. You need to evaluate yourself. You need to assess yourself, and you need to decide on what your worth is. If you don't know your worth, people will treat you crappily. Over the summer, towards the end of the spring semester, towards the summer, I accepted the role to switch colleges, to teach in a different community college, and I love that idea, because I am not going to be a faculty. I'm not going to be a clinical instructor. I am not going to be an associate professor. I'm going to be a simulation professor, which I think I would love it, because I'm hands-on. Instead of being a clinical instructor and you are taking them to the hospitals or to teach them all these skills, you are setting up at the same lab. The students will come and you will teach them. And a person that likes hands-on, that likes to see results, that likes to see people with no skill move from having no skill, being blank and moving towards having skills, I thought that was going to be right in my element. I love it. Communication during the summer was terrible. No, nothing. The only way I could even identify that this is the orientation date was because I logged into the employee, whatever, the portal. And I got to know, I got a notification from HR. It's not directed to me. It was just a post that orientation is the 18th of August. Then I went to the orientation and I was turned away that the orientation is for full-time faculty. Okay, fair enough. I came back. So I now wrote an email to the program director who hired me, who gave me my offer letter. No response. And me, I'm a busy person, so it's not like I'm waiting on. I love teaching. I want to teach, especially towards my retirement ages. I just want to do something. So I just filled up my vacancy because I chose, she asked me, what day do you want to do? So that they will use it to plan the academic year. And I chose Mondays because you know what? I hate being a clinician on Mondays because that's where everybody is coming from the weekend break and it's going to be too much chaos. So I don't like working Mondays for that reason. So I thought, that would be a perfect time to invest that energy into teaching students who are ready, fresh from the weekend and ready to absorb some new skills. So I chose Mondays. I didn't hear back from her. I just went about my normal life. Then on the 5th of this month, coming Friday will be 2 weeks, I got a missed call. I was at work. And, if it's unknown numbers, I don't answer. So later I said, let me listen to, these days, usually I have a bad habit, but lately I've been developing this habit. Check your emails, your voicemails every now and then. Then I did. So I realized the college called me. Oh, we were expecting you and we haven't seen you. Are you still intending to join us? Because we've been at the same lab, we haven't seen you. I'm like, that's weird. Okay. Let me return this woman's message, voice message. So the next morning I did. When I did, she told me, I explained to her what's going on. And I told her that honestly, I even thought I did something wrong. I don't know. I know I didn't do anything wrong, but I didn't know where the issues are, where no communication. It's just like you've been ghosted, right? I'm just telling you that, or using that word here. I didn't tell her that. But it felt like I was ghosted. Like, what? No communication from a whole institution? So after we had our conversation, I told her factually, my Mondays are gone. My schedule gets me. I make my, in fact, because I'm traveling over the holidays, left with me, I'll do my schedule till December. And then make few adjustments here and there based on my kids' needs as they arise. But my schedule as of right now, as of a month ago, is been made to like 18th of October. And the only Mondays I have is today and the 29th of September. And after that, my new schedule after October 18th will start. And then I can avail my Mondays freed up for you guys. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine. We can use you. You see that? You can use my services. Why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video because I want you to understand that as a professional, nobody will come to you without you meeting the criteria of their need. That means that it's a two-way relationship. You should not be disrespected. You should approach the work with diligence, with integrity, with professionalism. Do your work adequately. But do not also accept, especially if you are not a novice. Let me tell you something about me. I'm very stubborn. And it's a good attribute. It's not anybody that tells you are stubborn. You are stubborn. A guy with a chain so I can marry you. Please. 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 You see how I'm looking at you? No. Being stubborn is a good attribute because somebody is unable to use you, take advantage of you, invade your boundaries and play on the field like you play on the basketball or the soccer field, they label you. Whenever somebody is unable to, they label you. It's your job to assess yourself and say, sometimes you won't get the answers, but at the end of the day, ask yourself, if who you are is not negatively affecting somebody's life, the problem is not you. You see that thing they say, oh, if everybody thinks you are stubborn, then you are the problem. Or everybody don't get along at work, then you are the problem. You haven't seen it before. Me, I've seen it many times, as recent as a week or two ago. I've seen it where a group of nurses were reporting a security officer. And I was like, what did this guy do? If I wasn't there, you will believe them. But everything they said wasn't accurate. How do you approach that as a person with integrity? Integrity is doing what is right when nobody is seeing you. Doing what is right when God is the only person that sees everything we do. But sometimes you can hide in your closet and shit there and nobody sees it. If you don't say it, nobody sees it except God, right? So how do you live this life with integrity so that no matter where you are and what you are doing, you do it with integrity, with clear conscience, you do it right? That is what integrity is. Doing what is right at any given time, regardless of who is watching. Good morning, Becky. Thanks for liking the video. God bless you. That is what integrity is, and that is who I am. I don't like micromanagers. I will do my work with diligence and with integrity. You see that? So what am I saying? I'm saying that when everybody is saying you are this, you are that, you are, assess yourself. But the minute you can identify that, you know what? But it's in a good way. It is to protect me. It is to make sure that I don't hurt others, to make sure that I do what is right and stuff. So what is the point? Then it's you. It's because you couldn't eat your cake and have it. You want to label me as a difficult person, as a stubborn person. I had guys tell me, oh, I can't take you home because of your anklet. Girl, I'm a Kobo girl and I'm going to have those beads on my ankle any minute. Then a few minutes or whatever later after they get to know me, they're like, you need to take these things off your feet. You have these things making people perceive you. No, say making you perceive me as a whore or whatever. That's your perception. I cannot help you with your perception. But I'm going to dress how I want to dress, and I'm going to present how I want to present. And of course, it's going to be decent, but it's going to be how I want to accessorize it. And there's nothing wrong with it. You see, so the problem is not you. I want you to understand that when people are targeting you, when people are abusing you, most of the time the problem is not you. Hey, Eric. The problem is most likely not you. The problem is going to be someone else. The person targeting you. The person targeting you. You have to get it that. Not always, but most of the time. And that is when not always means that is why you have to do your personal journey search. Soul searching. Who are you? You have to be self-aware. You have to develop self-awareness. You have to know me. I know me to the very nonsense degree where I know my imperfections and my perfections. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. You can tell me and I won't tell you. There's many times I will be talking with my friends on Facebook and they'll be like, you complaining. You don't know this is who you are. I say, I know, but you see, I know who I am. I know what I can change. I know what I can't change. And I know what I can't change is not affecting you and it's not affecting me negatively. There is no negative thing you tell me about myself that I don't know already. Your first impression may be not good because you haven't taken time to know me beyond just your perception. But when you take your time to know me beyond your perception, you will know that everything you assumed about me is totally negative. People see me because I'm firm in my beliefs and my boundaries. People see me as, hey, I will be a difficult person. when you are a right person, you won't see me as difficult. Difficult means I'm principled. Difficult means I don't like injustice. Difficult means I don't like you taking advantage of other people. That is being difficult. You want to eat your cake and have it, and I said no, so I'm difficult. So be it, right? So be it. Anyway, so back to the story. After conversation back and forth, I agreed to give them my 2 Mondays left in September. And then a few more conversations had to take place before that door. So the last week Monday, she was going to call me back after we spoke later part of the previous week and let me know the way forward, So she called me. I missed her call. Then I called her back and she was like, oh, who is this? And I said, oh, it's Miss such and such. And listen. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's a wrong call. She acted like, oh, she didn't know me. And first she acted she didn't know me. Then when I identified myself, I acknowledged. You can sense in her tone that she knew who I was. But then she said, oh, it's a wrong call. But she was supposed to call me. That was the agreement. And let me know the way forward before I can join. She already agreed. She already asked me to come because they need my help, my services in the lab. And I offered the 2 Mondays I have left. So after that, I didn't bother. I called HR straight. And HR told me, this is my direct manager. The person that hired me got their name. Oh, the person is told, so what's going on? But it turned out that person is no more in the role. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's why they have the communication gaps existed. So she just gave me few names, few emails, few phone numbers. I took it upon myself because I want to teach, and I want to teach so bad, not because I'm desperate for it, but because I love to impact knowledge, right? And also I want to start building that portfolio towards when I get to 50s, 60s, and I don't want to be doing any tedious work. I just want to go and teach and come home, right? So I want to do that. So anyway, I got those numbers. I sent out emails. I didn't get any response. Then I forwarded the email again to the director that recruited me, that hired me. That was when she quickly replied and tagged all of them on it. And let me read one of the email I got. One of them responded and said, "Good afternoon," with exclamation sign. I understand that she mentioned the one that was having the phone conversation with me on it. I understand that blank, the name of the person, has been working with me, she mentioned my name, via telephone to fix the problems. So they have acknowledged there has been problems of no fault of mine, but that existed within their system, leaving me hanging and making me, if I'm not a person that felt confident in myself, but yet there was still a moment when I felt like, what happened? Did I do anything wrong? You see how gaslighting, this is similar to gaslighting. Someone leaving you, ending up judging yourself, feeling like you did something wrong when in fact it's their fault. So of course, in this case, they are not blaming me, right? They have acknowledged they have made so many this is not once, this is so many communication gaps, and this tone, this message right here is not professional, it's hostile, and it's not acceptable. So she sent, and pretty much being this email is being dismissive, is being hostile, and is targeting. Pretty much, why is she reaching out to you again? I thought someone else is dealing with it. You think I'm right or I'm wrong? Whatever your perception is. She came back later Hours later, I guess others confronted her about it. And she wrote her email and she said, hey, she would like to recall the message. You see the message, the email I just read to you? She wants to recall it. So you see what I'm saying? So I agreed to start today, but you can see me sitting here. Now I'm coming, we'll talk about it. So then, apparently there's somebody else too, probably in the higher role, and this person is a male. He also responded to, I told you now, I forwarded the email to my immediate supervisor. Till today, till this minute I'm talking to you, she didn't have the courtesy, the decency, the diligence to say, okay, let me acknowledge this idiot that I don't know who she is. Let me reply to her, let me do this, let me do that. I am not a novice, and I'm not going to take bullshit. It is what it is, right? So, but I am picking on this and kept building on kept building the momentum on the vibe they are giving me and deciding to take it, not to take it. Do I take it? Do I not take it? I know I don't need this setting to be in. I don't have to entertain such setting, such moral, such mannerism, such professional inadequacy. Like, I don't have to engage in this, right? Let me tell you, last semester, do you know that there was a period in my professional teaching career that I was paid a whole academic year without teaching because the head of the department realized they made a mistake. This one made sure I got my paycheck every 2 weeks for a whole academic year, even though I wasn't teaching. And this is what I keep telling you about working with some Oyibo people versus our people like Hispanic. This is heavily Hispanic environment. I think that's one of the reasons. The colleges I went are not like this. And I've taught another college. This is not how it is. But I drove to this college. Even the students, they are so rude because they are Hispanics and you are a person of color. So I already, that was when I went there to do my fingerprint and do my I-9, took my passport there for them to check my I-9 and everything. So I already started having, and then, so it's not just the students. I ignored the student part because I was like, a stranger, don't know me anyway. But look at what it is as a professional institution. And this is why I keep telling you that the problems the kids go through in schools, it's not just from it's systemic. It's the schools, it's the parents, parenting. Some of the mental health issues, the behavior issues, is parenting in the system. So this other guy who's supposed to be also there, I guess he is probably the one that took over from the one that hired me, offered me the position, is moved up, and someone else, this guy fit in there. So when the one that hired me reached out to them and I say, hey, mention my name, has some miscommunication issues. Is she still eligible for the part-time SIM position? So this guy responded and said, yes, we just confirmed her availability. She will be working, but the prorated amount of, ESH, if you know what ESH is. If you don't, it's not. You don't need to know. It's not necessary because it has to do with the how they grade of a professor, teaching hours and pay. That's what that is. They have a way of calculating it. So now, I went there on the 18th, wasted my time, my gas, my mileage. My day was gone. I wasn't paid for it. You chose to wait 3 weeks to reach out to me to inquire why I'm not joining. When in fact, none of you were responding to my emails. I still gave you opportunity to still consider joining. Now you want to talk about paying me at a prorated rate. Okay. Yes, if I didn't come from the blue, you don't want to pay me. Okay. You want this week, So meaning you pay me one based on how many, whatever it is. I understand what that means, right? So I didn't respond to it. I just responded with privately to just thank the the one that hired me. Thanks for finally responding, or something like that. And she said, I'm glad finally, everything is resolved. Meanwhile, I spoke with the person I'm going to, and the person that was like, acted like, oh, no, wrong number. Guess what? I am going to be in the same lab with her. She's in the same lab alone. So I'm supposed to be the adjunct going to help her in that role. Yet she's giving you this attitude. And me, I can work with the worst enemy. I can work with anybody, because when I come, I focus on the job. And you're going to know me by my job. And eventually you fall in love with the work I do, not how you initially perceive me. Right? Because I'm not going to come with the nail flashes, the eyelashes, the flashes things. I'm going to come looking myself and professional. Right? So I was thinking about that. So the person I'm going to share space with and work hand in hand together is having this attitude. I don't need to be there. So I was already thinking about that. Then all these emails followed. So we had our final conversation after these emails. Now she finally called me, right? All of a sudden she know me again. And I said, okay, since it's going to be a prorated whatever, I would like to know how much. That is one. I want to know how much would the prorated pay be. Number two, what are she is saying my hours were supposed to be every Monday 8 to 4. She said it's 10 hours, 7 to 5. Okay. If it's 7 to 5, I need to know what the pay will be, because obviously I'm going to work more hours than I thought initially was going to be. In the initial hiring conversation went, okay. They are expecting me today. As of this minute, I have not received any email about that. I have not. So I thought about it, and I said to myself, I'm not going. And yes, it's like a BBA. I need to pay my bills or something. It is something I want to have back in my professional career as an experience, working towards my future when I become aged and feeble. Yeah, not aged and feeble. Now you can have 70s and still looking wonderful and healthy. Yeah, and that's my goal, to hopefully be that. But yeah, if I can get in the gym, but I don't live close to a gym, so that is affecting my ability to exercise. I don't want to close from work, exercise before coming home, and drive another 45 minutes to come home. So that is a challenge right now. I really want to get to the gym, but that's my challenge. I live far from the gym, and I don't want to drive 30 minutes, 40 minutes to the gym. So yeah, but 60s, even right now, you don't want to work at the bedside after a while. You want to... I love being a clinician, but I also feel like at some point I don't want to be doing a lot of clinical work. I want to do teaching versus a little bit of clinical work. That is why I chose nurse practitioner versus just education, doing my advanced degree in education, nursing education. Yeah, you see? So this morning I woke up and I'm like, how do I approach this? And I have to consult. And I'm like, no, I have to. And first I tend. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to read these 2 emails I drafted. But because I've already made a decision, I have sent out the decision I made. The first decision was to quit. But this morning, I decided to send 2 emails so that I am pushing the burden back on them. So of course now you can read from the email, I can be blamed for their mistakes, 1. But 2, instead of quitting, I don't know if it's the right thing or not. I know it's the right thing for me, for my sanity, for my self-worth. it's the right thing to quit, but I also want to push the burden back on them for a minute before I do that. So this is the 2 email. Oh gosh, I left them. I don't have my glasses. I think I have one here. This is very dirty because I've not used it for a while. Let's see if I can use this. See, that's the problem when you are using glasses. So I don't used to read with my glasses. Now I have, unless I do like this. See, as I could get closer, I can read without the glasses. But glasses just spoils your vision. You know, glasses. See, now I can see from here. Oh, I love these glasses. But it's so loose here, the handles, the hinges. So I drafted 2 emails, right? I drafted 2 emails this morning. And I sent one of them already. The one I sent, I said, oh boy. I said, thank you again for considering me for the part-time position, simulation professor role. I remain very interested in contributing to the education of future nurses and would like to ensure I have full clarity before moving forward. At this time, I would appreciate receiving official confirmation of the following details. Official, okay, yeah, I said, thank you again for considering me for the part-time simulation professional role. I remain very interested in contributing to the education of future nurses and would like to ensure I have full clarity before moving forward. At this time, I would appreciate receiving official confirmation for the following details. Finalized work schedule and expected hours. I understand from the person's name that the hours run from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. rather than the original 8 to 4, and would like clarification on this. The compensation structure, because you said you give me prorated, right? The compensation structure, including what the prorated amount of is. Any additional expectations tied to the role. Having these details in writing will help me make an informed decision and avoid any further communication challenges. I value the opportunity to work with, I mentioned the college name, and contribute meaningfully to the nursing program, and look forward to your clarification. Warm regards. And I wrote my name. You get it? I wrote my name. So that was the first one. I sent that one already because I'm not willing to go and work with them. I just think it's the best. It will safeguard my sanity and, you know. But in case I wanted to not take the job, this is the one also that I was going to send, right? This one, I will send this soon as they respond because that's the whole approach. This one too will be like, thank you for considering me for the part-time blah blah blah. I value the opportunity to contribute to the education of future nurses blah 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 blah, and appreciate the communications I've had with the team so far. After careful consideration, I have decided not to move forward with this role at this time. While I remain very passionate about nursing education, the changes in schedule, compensation details, and communication gaps have made it difficult for me to make a confident commitment. I truly appreciate the interest in my services and will be glad to reconsider future opportunities at the college should the right fit arise. Thank you. So I'm still, either way, I'm still going to turn down the job, but I just brought this here because I want you to be very mindful of workplace violence. You have to be assertive about advocating for yourself. You have to be diligent in terms of how you communicate with them, so they don't see that, oh, you are just an emotional person or this or that. You have to be factual, and you have just to be brief. You don't have to be writing anything lengthy. Just go straight to the point. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you pay, I know people don't talk about it. People don't talk about it, but there is so much violence in the workplace, and a place that you spend more of your days than you do at home. A place that you spend many years at. Many people have the same jobs for 20 years, 30 years. You want to be confident walking in, and you want to be confident walking out. You want to be confident walking in and enjoy what you walked in to do. Every work has its challenges. There is no way you're going to go to work and it's going to be milk and honey. You're going to have some challenge. But what matters is that you are happy doing what you do. What makes me happy is to know that I made a change for the day. I made a change in somebody's life for the day. What makes me happy is know that I made a difference for the day. And I look forward to that every single day that I walk out. How to go and make that difference in another person's life. What I don't like is behavior health. I don't like behavior health. Personality behaviors, I don't like it. Because they get in the way of wanting to help people. They get in the way of people wanting actual help. Personalities get in the way. You have borderline personality, manipulation, attention-seeking behaviors. As a professional, they say, oh, you don't have to do this. You don't have somebody who will be tagged as a med-seeking. And eventually that med-seeker, their needs don't get met because everybody perceives them as a med-seeker. These are the reasons they don't want you to do that ethically. However, it's also real that these behaviors does exist. That is why your assessment skills are so important. You must be sharp when it comes to your assessment skills, so that you are differentiating a person that is a med seeker, and you want to educate them in a way that they see that you want to help them, versus their needs being dismissed. If you keep tagging people, they are med seeker, they are manipulative, they are this, that's what happens. Their needs get missed, and that is why professionally you are not expected, or you don't want to do that. But it doesn't mean that these behaviors don't exist. They do exist. There are people who are Mexican in the midst of having true pain needs, pain management needs. There are people that are very manipulative in the midst of either needing the help or not needing the help. The help they may need may be psychosocial needs. In the midst of psychosocial needs that are lacking, you see how somebody's mental health will spiral. It will go from 0 to 10,000%, either depressed or manic. The person's psychosocial needs are not being met. They don't have a place to stay. Have you ever had those people in the mental health wards They come within 2 days. They have the first night, they sleep. The second night, they eat and sleep. The third night, they start getting comfortable. They want all the snack in the world. Then after they get that good rest, their true colors start showing. They start talking to the social worker. They want to get better. They tell you all the things they want to do. They are confident. The minute they start improving and you want to discharge them because the psychosocial needs are not going to be met outside, the shelter they don't have outside, how to afford food they don't have outside, you see they will go from 10 back to 0, because that's the only way they get their needs met. That's the only way you get to detain them and they get to have a place on a roof over their head. It's an unfair situation, both to them and to you. But who do you blame? You can blame the people because there was somebody that was not providing the life skills necessary from the early stages in their lives. That is one of the many reasons. Other reasons include deteriorating mental health issues. But that is just one of the many reasons. At the end, I came to your way this morning to tell you that workplace violence is real. You don't have to settle for it. You have to know your worth. They will say, oh, husband, mine said, the women want said, know your worth, and you remain single. My dear, being single is not a disease. Being single is not a crime. And being single does not mean you should be lonely. The same applies to your job situation. You do not have to settle for an employer that is a bully, that is hostile, that don't respect you as a human, let alone respecting your value that you bring to the table, the impact you coming to make to improve their organization, to impact into their students, to impact into their patients. They have no respect for you. You don't need to be in these settings. Your mental health will be compromised. There is nothing disgusting like walking in every day and think about it. There is nothing so disgusting like walking in every day panicking, distressed, and not sure what else will happen. Take note. I love you guys. Have a good day. Now that I chose to not go, I wasn't supposed to be off today. I was supposed to either go to work or go to teach. And I chose to avail myself for them. But now that I chose to not go to the teaching job, I also missed the opportunity to go to my main job. So what I'm going to do is to take care of some bills, make some calls that I usually don't have the opportunity to make because I'm not home during the weekday. I will see if my primary care doctor is open to seeing me because I'm overdue to see him. I need to review my labs. My labs was done maybe 3 months ago and I have not been available to do. Every time I call like a day like this when I'm off because I don't know when I'll be off. So when I call, so we are booked today. It doesn't used to be like that, but I think now he has more clients. That's fine. And I'm not in any emergency situation. Remember when my back was achy and I was in like 2 urgent care centers and 2 emergency rooms? Yep, that was the time. So this is like 3 months ago. So that was since then is when I'm supposed to see him. So I need to see him, but when I tried, he's not available. So I'll see if he's available. He has a vacancy today. I will try and go. And that's rest, because I deserve one, right? I deserve one. And it's a good thing I'm off, so I will not use my browser anymore to search for tickets. I'll go to the library because my browser is kind of aware now that I'm searching. So I'm going to go to the library and try to still find the tickets, right? So that we will not be stuck here for the holidays. Yeah, so that's what I'll do today. I deserve a rest, so I'll do that. I'll do some self-care stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy your day. But always remember, hostility at the workplace is not okay. It's unacceptable. It's compromising. It compromises your self-worth. It makes you develop self-doubt. It makes you remember what I told you, right? At some point I'm like, what did I do something wrong? What's going on? Why is it that I'm not getting responses to my emails? You get it? What I'm thinking is they probably hired someone also. I don't know what happened, but I'm thinking maybe there was a disappointment from one of the people they hired. Either, I don't know, because they hired me, I have my offer letter, right? So why were there no communication throughout as to when I should report, where I should report to, and this and that? So I'm just thinking out loud. You don't want to be in that state. You don't want to be responsible for people's problems. Problems that people create. You are now left to figure it out and start wondering if you caused it. That gaslighting feeling you don't want to have. It results in self-doubt. It affects your self-confidence. And you also need to be assertive. Learn to be assertive. How to advocate for yourself. See, if I'm not an assertive person, or I didn't approach this with assertiveness, I'll just walk in. Because why am I walking in today? Why should I go today when you don't know, you don't have a letter on what they will pay you, the new pay rate will be? Which the new pay rate I know is going to be, since it's just the beginning, I didn't go, they'll pay me for the days I'm starting. I get that. But what will be the difference that will be added until next later part in October, when I'm able to do the regular shift schedule? What will be added to the extra 2 hours that they want me to do? What will be, how much will be added to my salary? At least have some communication, have some clarity. And that was missed. So learn to be assertive, learn to advocate for yourself in the professional and polite way, whereby you are not being seen as an emotional person, you are not being seen as a violent person, and yet you are putting your words across. Have a wonderful day. Till I talk to you again. Adios.